At this point, investigators are still trying to determine that. What we do know, at the time that this fire sparked, there was severe weather coming through the area, and an employee heard a loud boom and then saw that fire. So weather could possibly be a cause. That's because, like it or not, this technology is out there. Whether you can afford one of these cars or not, more and more of these vehicles are on the road every day. And here's the problem. You never know what the driver next to you is doing or if they even have control of the wheel. Of course, in this most recent case right here in Florida, things turned out across Florida. Thousands of people donating blood in the wake of the shooting, and so many of you have wanted to help. Blood centers were at capacity yesterday, asking many to make appointments for later this week. They have pulled one person from the water. That person was rushed to a local hospital. At this point, we aren't sure of their sex or their condition. The major thing now that the dive team is worried about is if someone else is actually right about that, dear. You know, this is a major undertaking by the district, and basically the entire reason behind this is to ensure that students are safe. And with this new technology, administrators with the school district will be able to track each and every one of these buses simply by the GPS system. Not only organizers, but participants are very passionate about, things don't kick off here for another 2 hours. But check this out. The parking lot is already packed. Event organizers and those participants already here, and they have their American flags ready. And they've also marked this event with the hashtag Take It Back.
Particular is extremely upset about this.
That's right. Aisha Curry, the wife of league MVP Stephen Curry, believes the NBA made sure her husband's team lost last night. Sounds like sour grapes to me. In a tweet that's since been deleted, of course. Information continues to come in slowly this morning, but what I can tell you is that 4 of those victims still remain at the hospital this morning, 2 of them in critical condition. In fact, I just spoke with the aunt of one of those victims, and she was shocked and saddened that something like this could happen at an event for kids. Tell us first off, I know some parents may be concerned about those vaccines, but the importance
What are we learning so far?
Well, it certainly is a pretty fluid situation this morning. I want to point something out to you guys. All of this is happening right in the heart of downtown Dallas. At this hour, bomb detection dogs from the ATF, the FBI, and the Dallas Police Department sweeping the downtown area here for explosives this morning. Now, one of those suspects told investigators that more officers will be hurt and added that there were bombs planted all over downtown Dallas. So the situation is still very dangerous this morning. Thankfully, that woman was found this morning. This all happened about an hour ago. Believe it or not, she actually simply walked up to investigators who were at her home and said, "Hey, I'm the woman that you've been looking for all morning." A pretty odd story. Now, investigators also giving us a bit more insight into how this whole thing happened. As a matter of fact, it was about midnight last night when this woman apparently had an argument with her boyfriend aboard that boat, and she simply decided to jump off, and she told her friends that she would swim home. A fatal crash involving an autopilot vehicle. Tough questions this morning regarding safety. Ahead in the live report, how drivers across the state of Florida could be impacted. Well, before you head to the water this weekend, we have an update about possible water contamination in this area. To prevent raw sewage from spilling out into the streets of St. Pete Beach, the city decided to redirect it directly. Okay, the investigators are still on the scene here trying to piece together exactly what happened here. They initially got this call about this burglary around 2 o'clock. And you're certainly right about that. I've been looking over this plan all morning long, and it's massive. We're talking $1.1 billion in funding. Now, the idea behind all of this is to hopefully save lives. Ferry service has been cut. No one is allowed over onto the island. The focus now is on the wildlife. In fact, a team of biologists headed over this morning to determine the exact impact for themselves.
We can see the helicopters from here dropping the water, but it doesn't seem to be doing much.
There's no fire hydrants and water or anything like that to get to, so it's all remote.
Which makes this operation even more difficult. The word we got this morning, the fire raging at Egmont Key, about 50% contained, 70 acres burned so far.
It's just such a shame to see it burning.
Fire officials say a lightning strike most likely the cause. The island is a wildlife refuge with only one state park employee who lives there year-round.
We've seen all the baby birds out there, and I was worried if they're okay or that they're going to leave the nests or what's going to happen to them.
Biologists expected on the island today, finding out the impact to wildlife.
It just breaks my heart for the wildlife out there.
And as you can see out here this morning, things looking a lot clearer as the sun comes up, which is definitely a positive out here this morning. The park will be closed, though, until further notice. Only those park workers and firefighters being allowed over. In fact, we just see a boat coming in right now, returning with a number of those workers who have been out there throughout the night and this morning working. Again, this is a story we will continue to follow. For updates, you can always go to abcactionnews.com. For now, reporting live near Egmont Key, Rodney Dunigan, ABC Action News. We've been looking at that this morning, and from what we we can see, it hasn't. This is the home right behind me, and you can see that hole. Now, I want to point something out to you guys. Yesterday, the county came out and they actually spray painted an orange line around the property there, around this hole. And at this point, we can't tell that the hole has grown any overnight. So that is a bit of good news for the folks who live in this area. Obviously, many of those homeowners simply want to ensure that their families are safe.
I saw the depression, and to me, it didn't look that bad originally. And then the news comes on, and it's just like,
Kaylee Walther, like several homeowners living near the intersection of Genesis and Excalibur, concerned this morning with good reason.
I was like, okay, I've already got my bags packed. 3
families not forced to leave, but heading out anyway after this depression opened underneath this home here in Holiday, estimated at 30 feet wide and 10 feet deep.
She's not happy, I know that. It's horrible. I mean, if it was me, I know I'd be.
Susan Halstead, a relative of homeowner Alice Hammond, tells us this could have been a lot worse.
Her granddaughter was just here, and that's the bedroom back there. So I'm sure she was probably sleeping in one of the bedrooms, you know. It's scary.
Out of town on vacation, we were able to reach Hammond by phone.
I don't know. I don't know what to do. I have no insurance on this house.
Inspectors with Pasco County will be making the final call on if this home has to be condemned or if it's even safe for nearby homes.
If it's not safe, then I'll do what the officials tell me to do. That's all I can do.
And hopefully those homeowners can get back in their homes. I want to point this out to you again. You can see that orange line there around the hole. That's where the county actually spray painted that yesterday to monitor if the hole has grown. Obviously, from what we can see, it has not grown overnight. Now, as for the homeowner, again, she was out of town on vacation. We're told she's actually trying to make her way back today to obviously see this, not too happy to see it. And she also goes on to tell us that she's been in this community, been in this home about 13 years. So definitely she hopes that she can get things repaired here so she can move back in the home. For now, reporting live in Holiday this morning, Rodney Dunigan, ABC Action News. Dia, and with pretty good reason, even if you can't afford one of these vehicles, this technology is out there and more of these vehicles are on the road. And drivers are pretty much concerned that, you know, they aren't sure what drivers next to them are doing or even if they're fully in control.
This was built by people that come from computers and software, and the Tesla Model S rings true with that.
Self-driving technology is the wave of the future, but questions this morning regarding safety following this fatal wreck involving a Tesla sports car in Williston, Florida.
Here we are, stop and go traffic on 271, and car's doing it all itself.
This is YouTube video of victim Joshua Brown demonstrating the hands-off autopilot feature.
There's no way I would ever trust a vehicle to drive me or my family. You know, especially knowing that this is the first one.
This video showing the moments following the fatal crash. Reports indicate the crash happened when a tractor trailer made a turn in front of the vehicle at an intersection with no traffic light. Tesla saying neither the driver or the autopilot sensors applied the brakes. A witness describing for us how the car continued to drive after the crash.
I couldn't believe how far he actually came. You know, because he was deceased. It's 300 yards from the store down there to my front yard.
This comes as the state pushes to become the testing site for many of these new vehicles. Experts at Mosey say Bay Area drivers will be seeing more of these cars pretty soon.
Florida is one of the top 3 states in the country allowing for expansion of driverless vehicle technology. I believe the current legislation has said that all public roads are possible test tracks.
Tesla releasing a statement calling the driver's death a tragic loss. They also say autopilot is disabled by default, and even when in use, the technology isn't perfect and drivers must remain alert. And a number of drivers we spoke with this morning understand that new technology is something that they will simply have to adopt to. However, they are concerned about the safety of these newer cars. Again, this is a debate that will no doubt continue. For now, reporting live, Rodney Dunigan, ABC Action News. And Lindsay, you know, there's plenty of passion behind this issue. In fact, some of these marchers got here more than 2 hours before this event even started this morning. They say they wanted to send a strong message to lawmakers.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic.
There's a lot going on in the world today, and as we've seen over the last few months, it's hitting closer to home.
A crowd of open carry supporters taking to the streets in Inverness this morning.
The Second Amendment was put there by our forefathers, and it should stay that way, exactly as it was written.
God bless America.
Organizers say the message behind this 5-mile march through town to inspire patriotic Americans to take action right now to stop what they call attacks on Second Amendment freedoms.
You can ban the guns, you can ban the assault rifles, but the bad guys are going to have them anyway.
Lawful gun owners and law-abiding citizens are catching the rap for, things like Orlando, right? A gun was used by a criminal illegally, and so there's a huge run on guns to ban AR-15s from lawful gun owners like us.
Florida Gun Supply owner Andy Hallinan says he wants to hammer that message home to lawmakers, telling participants to come with their guns locked and loaded.
It's not the guns at the issue, it's the mentality of the radicals using the gun in a legal way. We want to stand up and encourage Americans to make some change and stop being silent.
Hallinan made news just last year when he declared his business a Muslim-free zone, even selling signs.
How you doing, sir? Thanks for coming out.
Participants we spoke with say this is a fight they won't be giving up. According to them, lives are at stake.
If the good guys don't have them, we're not safe.
And organizers tell us that they are happy with this morning's turnout. In fact, about 300 people participated in this event, and they continue to march around town this morning. They're going about 5 miles, and they will return right back here to the gun shop. For now, reporting live in Inverness, Rodney Dunigan, ABC Action News. That's certainly right, Dan. In fact, the number continues to grow. We're talking about 4 million views just so far, and this is a story that has people across the country very passionate about this. It's been shared numerous times since we posted it on our ABC Action News Facebook page as well. Now, we spoke with her this morning, getting her reaction to a Facebook post, sparking conversation across the country.
There's so much injustice.
Savannah Hartman, passionate and emotional over a shooting she simply calls senseless.
And I'm just pro-human, and I was just really upset yesterday because these lives are valuable.
Hartman is a mother, wife, and pastor of a small Ybor City church. Her reaction in response to the disturbing video caught of 37-year-old Alton Sterling being shot and killed by Baton Rouge, Louisiana police. It moved her to post this message to Facebook, touching on issues involving police and the black community.
I don't know what it's like to go out for snacks and end up lying dead on my back. My car's never been watched or followed around. My kids don't play in parks and then get gunned down.
Hartman's message gaining attention across the country, going viral. Millions of views, hundreds of thousands of shares, and counting.
Somebody has to stand up and say that this is not okay. These lives matter. These lives matter. These lives matter. Your children matter, my children matter, their children matter.
Hartman says comments have been mixed, some negative, mostly positive though, but she feels something had to be said.
I just want to get someone's attention and say, as a white person who's uninvolved in another state, this seems unjust to me, so let's look at it. Together, let's have a tough conversation.
And that's certainly what she started this morning. Now, Savannah Hartman also told us she's certainly not against police, but says people need to realize that there is a problem. Of course, if you head on over to our ABC Action News Facebook page, you can look at that entire post. Reporting in studio this morning, Rodney Dunigan, ABC Action News.